Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to my podcast, Snacks Thoughts. I say welcome to my podcast, Snacks Thoughts. And what is my thought for tonight? Well, me and my dad, about maybe a week ago, we were discussing the current state of the economy here. And I myself, I always seem to get like maybe certain ideas or like to brainstorm. And so we were talking about how things were going and possible solutions to fix it, And so I had came up with an idea or an analogy, especially looking at all the homeless and stuff, that are spreading rampant in our societies nationwide. And if I could title this one, I would title this episode for Snacks Thoughts, Solutions for Society. And here's where I'm coming from. And some people may agree, and I'm not obviously an economic expert. That is not my expertise. But just here's my idea, just thinking about it. Now, I know that many of you, like myself, sometimes have asked the question, why don't our politicians and the government and the elite, why don't they fix these problems when they can see what the obvious is? Now, in the United States, we have I believe a total of 360, I think it's 32 or 60, 365 million. It's one of the numbers. Either way, 300 and something million people. And so supposedly, obviously they're going to lie about the unemployment numbers, but supposedly there may be as many as maybe 100 million. Okay, that's out of work or whatever like that. So if you have out of say maybe 365 or 330 something million people, if you have 200 and something million that have incomes and or wealth, whatever, that combination that are still pulling in money and have resources. What I thought about was that, okay, we know that inflation is high, but the average American, even those that are on some form of social programs or subsistence, spends more than $1 a month. And give me a second. I gotta get a little bit of water here. But think about it. So, if the average, meaning that at our lowest, our poorest economically, spends at least $1 a month, and I'm just going to use some simple math here, right? So we know that we have homeless, we have people that are struggling and that, need help. And so as a society, if we became tired of, of waiting on our government to fix it and stop kicking the can down the road, and they're playing around with people's lives and the elites and, some of these big corporations that are failing in their corporate social responsibility. If you took $1 from every American, from those 200 and something million Americans, that's 200 and something million a month. And so what I had, thought about and came up with, I said, well, I think that every, 200 and something American, 200 and something million Americans, and you have different income stratas. And I would think that, say, maybe those that are, have exorbitant amounts of wealth, should, say give, say a little bit more. And this is all hypothetical. So if you have people say that are in a bracket of, say, I don't know, $250,000 to say maybe $1 million, say maybe have them give maybe just say something as simple as $20 a month. And I don't want to get too complicated. I really should just say maybe 5, but we'll make them, not make them, but say they decide, hey, all right, we'll do it if this will solve it and help people out, while we don't have, and while we while we're waiting on the government and politicians and these corporations to, hey, get it together, and start handling your business, we can start, getting this money funneled to people. Obviously they want to do UBI or universal basic income, but I'm talking about just the citizens in this country that are still pulling in, money, or that, have a certain amount of wealth. So $250,000 to say $1 million, they give $20 a month. Okay. Then, obviously for those that are, say, from 1 million to, I don't know, you got from 1 million to say maybe 20 million, they give, maybe, we'll just say maybe they give, $30 a month. I don't know, even just $40 a month. Okay. And they, and then, for those, like I said, when you getting way up there, and just say they decide, all right, okay, all right, as a citizen, because I'm in this bracket, whatever, I'm maybe 25, 50 million, 100 million. All right, I'll kick in, say maybe 50 to $100 a month. All this is hypothetical. Billionaires, they'll kick in a little bit more. All right, I give them $200 a month. And then we'll go down to, say, what's known as the income earners that are, say, below $250,000, and they decide, all right, well, we'll kick in, within that different strata. You have the lowest maybe kicking in, say, if they had maybe 40,000, just give $1 a month. If they're 40,000 to say maybe 60, give $1 a month. Anything above, say, 60,000, hey, just drop in $2 or $3, a month. But if you really do the math and say these citizens agreed to it, we agreed to do this, and we know that this economy is going to be wrecked, and we know that people are gonna need this help, and we don't have time to be waiting on our politicians and people in high places to they're strong arming us, and they know that these people need this help, because I'm not trying to be funny, but I hate to say it, but I believe that they have a strong hand in creating this. Little regular people, middle class people, or regular people, or even the regular rich, they don't have enough power to create these type of problems. It's higher up, that makes the decisions and the laws and the people behind, the politicians that are pulling the strings. So it's like, you created these problems, what I'm saying? Well, fix it, but in the event so that we don't have to wait on them, it's like if you had something like that, and we're speaking hypothetically, and you had the people with the right skills and abilities to, organize it and make sure that this money got, saying directly to the people that needed it, and say we would continue something like this, say, just every month. And I'm going to say $5 a month just to bump it up. Average American that's bringing some money spends more than that every month. But if you multiply, say, 200 million people that gave $5 a month, and they said, you know what? We know this is going to be messy for the next 10 years. We'll do this for the next 10 years, until we get things balanced out. And then as those people are able to, progress and, say, pull off of these so-called unofficial donations or another system, then they themselves, they would be able to, kick in to this discretionary fund, each one reach one, and so they would pay it forward or pay it back. But if you multiply 200 million people giving $5 a month, and that's $1 billion. That's $1 billion a month. That's $12 billion a year. And hypothetically, that would be a solution, and I'm talking about going around the politicians and the corporations, or the people that keep stealing the money, and they keep playing with people's lives, because a lot of the stimulus money, it never made it to the people that needed it. The small business owner, they never got their fair share, of the stimulus money. And, how is it that the people at the top that don't need it, how did they get their hands on it? And the people that really need it, it never got to them, or not enough of it, got to them. And you see these problems that are here. But just think what $1 billion a month could do. $1 billion a month off of simple donations. And I just use $5 hypothetically, but all the numbers that I gave for the different income and wealth ranges, it would be much more than that. But technically, in the United States, because we still do have so much wealth, the citizens of this country could be like, hey, look, we can't keep waiting on these politicians. We can't keep waiting on these corporations, saying that are making these crazy decisions to get this stuff fixed. And here's where I'm going with this, is that even though there are some people that are still making money, in one way or another, when people in this country en masse begin to suffer like that, we all are affected by it. When you start getting people going into poverty, desperation sets in, and then that means that crime is going to shoot up. And there's a whole bunch of other things that's going to happen. I mean, look at what's going on with some of the Walgreens, and even some places in San Francisco, and the looting and the robbing that's going on, to the point where they said if it was, I think $1,200 or below, hey, they could walk out and take it, because it wasn't worth, prosecuting the cases, through the court. It would cost more money sending them through the system. And that's just one example, but when you put people in a desperate situation, there's no telling what they'll do. You got to think. You got some of these young ladies, the prostitution is spreading, and a lot of places the cops are not even bothering to even arrest them anymore. The society is just kind of letting them go. So certain things are getting rampant, and it's not an environment that is conducive to American values. And also, you don't want kids seeing this stuff like that, where women that once were productive, are now, walking the streets to have to sell themselves so that they could survive, But it's something to think about. But in one way or another, even for the rich, these problems will reach them eventually. You can't run away and hide everywhere and seek to monopolize everything and think that these problems are not going to affect you or reach your family too. Eventually, it may take longer, but eventually, through society, it will reach them. They make these decisions, and some don't care, but then they wonder why you have the Capitol riots. People get tired, and granted, you might say, well, the Capitol riots, that was because Donald Trump incited that. I think it goes a little bit deeper than that. You look at all these mass killings that have been going on. There's a lot of pent up frustration, and anger. And, to be honest with you, I call it the pandemic. This pandemic, it caused a lot of people that were in the middle class and small business owners to get wiped out instantly. And it was through no fault of their own. It wasn't a lot of people's fault. When they were productive and you told them, stay home or basically close your business down, for safety. You told the government told them to do it. And now you don't want to back these people up, so that they can get back on their feet. All these people that, lost their jobs or whatever like that. I mean, I'm not saying that it's all of the government or the elite's fault, but they definitely got a strong hand in it. So it's something to think about. But just I do believe in being solution oriented. But for those in this country that are still productive, and obviously they got some emergency money and they still got money coming in, stuff like that. Just think about it. $1 a month from 200 and something still productive Americans that are still bringing some money, whatever that, whatever combination of where their income, legal, of course, that's coming in. They were giving $1 a month. That's, 200 and something $million a month. If it's $2 a month, multiply by 2. If it's $5, multiply by 5. But it's something to consider in order to hold the fabric of this society together, which it kind of seems like this government and big elites are trying to destroy it. But something to think about. But solutions for society. But that's something that, I thought about. And I'm not no Alex Jones or conspiracy theorist, but it was just something that I thought about. But, think about what this money could be used for. I mean, it could obviously be used for medical, dental, obviously needed bills, and I guess you could say instead of the unofficial UBI or the citizens unemployment check, to carry families through, until they can find suitable employment and allow them and enable them a chance to get back on their feet. But it's just a thought, of mine, just a thought. But again, the name of my podcast is Snack Thoughts. That's SnackThougts. Snack Thoughts. And this podcast can be found on Anchor, Spotify, Spreaker, Acast, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Radio PBM, SoundCloud, and a host of other social media platforms. So please subscribe to Snack Thoughts. And also I have a YouTube channel called Eric Broadus YouTube. That's EricBroadus YouTube. And so please go to my YouTube channel and subscribe over there. Smash that bell to become a subscriber. And on the videos, hey, smash that like button, to like the video. If you don't like it, smash the unlike button. Either way, leave a comment. Love the dialogue with you. Everyone has a right to their opinion. Lastly, I'll leave the link in the description. I'm teaching courses on Skillshare on how to succeed in the military, leadership, diversity, and a host of other topics. So please join the class in Skillshare. But think about it, guys. Think about it. 200 and something million Americans donating $1 a month. Think about what that could do. That's 200 million a month. 200 million times 12 is 2.4. 2.4. That's $24 million. And think about it if you increase it by that. But think about what we actually spend. I'm quite sure at least 100 million Americans could afford to give up $3 to $5 a month. Really think about it. It doesn't seem like a lot, but when you pool that type of money together and then make sure that a separate system than what we already have, that it gets in, to the right hands of the people that need it. Something to think about. But I want to thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. And please have a safe weekend. All right, guys. But push them out. Eric Broadus YouTube, Snack Thoughts. Push it out and Skillshare. All right, guys. Peace out. Catch you on the next one. Later.